I saw when your eyes opened today, long before the sun claimed its place on the horizon. I was there feeling the coldness of the floor beneath your feet as you walked silently through the house, trying not to wake anyone, carrying a weight that shouldn't be yours. You felt that emptiness in your chest, didn't you? That silent question that echoes off the kitchen walls. What will today be like? I stopped what I was doing in heaven to meet you at this very second, because there is an urgency in my heart. The world will try to steal you away, will try to convince you that haste is the solution and that your own hands alone can build sustenance. But I came to tell you that the secret to everything you seek is not in your desperate effort, but in the whisper of this encounter. If you are here, it is not by chance. It is a prearranged meeting, an answer to the cry you released in thought last night, when the pillow seemed to offer no rest. Many times you felt like you were shouting against a bronze sky, but today I want to show you why speaking first to the Father who provides everything changes the course of your destiny. Throughout this conversation, I will open your eyes to what is hidden behind the curtains of the impossible and give you a key that will open doors you thought were sealed forever. If you stay with me until the last whisper of this message, I will give you a clear answer and reveal something that will finally bring rest to your heart. If this touch of mine is reaching your soul now, tell me here in the comments what your name is, from what corner of this world you are listening to me, and what time the clock shows in your time. I want you to feel that I know every detail of your geography and your weariness. And now, like a cry that springs from the depths of your being, let your soul shout, "Lord my God, I am here." I subscribe to this channel because I love you and my life desperately needs to hear you. I see the sincerity in your surrender. Stay with me, because what I am about to reveal to you now, about the silence of your early morning, is only the beginning of a transformation you wouldn't understand if I told you yesterday. You have been seeking answers in noisy places, my daughter. You have been chasing after provision as if I were a stranger who doesn't take care of his own house. But I call you to stillness. Remember when your hands trembled as you held that seemingly inescapable bill? I was there. I saw the cold sweat and the heavy silence in that empty room. But today I invite you to reverse the order. Give me your first thought, and I will take care of each of your next 24 hours. Because when you seek me first, you don't just ask for things, you receive me, and in me, everything you need is already prepared. But I haven't yet shown you everything the silence of the early morning hides. There's something that happens in the spiritual world when you kneel before fighting. Something your natural eyes haven't yet been able to perceive. There's a corner in your house, in that small space between the bed and the wall, where the rug is worn out from you leaning on it so much without realizing it. I see you there. I see when the light from your cell phone illuminates your worried face in the dark, while you do calculations that don't add up, or read messages that steal your sleep. Anxiety isn't just a feeling, my daughter. It's the noise of a world that tries to convince you every second that you are orphaned and helpless. But you are not. I am here between your sigh and your next heartbeat. Many times, you get in the shower and let the water fall forcefully to hide the sound of your crying, so that no one in the house notices your fragility. You wash your face, put on a smile, and go out to take care of everyone, but inside, your chest feels constricted by invisible chains. I know the weight of that silence in the room when the lights go out, and you're alone with your thoughts. You've been trying to carry the weight of 10 years in just 24 hours. You've been trying to carry tomorrow on your shoulders, but tomorrow still belongs to me, and I guard it with zeal. I want you to understand a truth that the noise of your worries tries to stifle. Remember what I wrote to calm your spirit in moments of affliction? For it is written in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, "But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." When you kneel in that secret place, even if only in thought in the middle of a crowded kitchen, you are not surrendering to defeat. You are surrendering to my sovereignty. I saw when you looked at that drawer of documents and felt a chill, fearing the future of your family. I saw when the silence of your kitchen, in that Tuesday morning, seemed to scream that nothing would work out. But when you choose to close your eyes and speak to me before trying to solve everything with your own hands, the kingdom of God is established in your home. True provision does not begin with the balance of an account or the approval of others. It begins at the altar you raise in the midst of your fear. Feel my peace now invading this space where you listen to me. It's not a peace that human logic can explain, but it's the peace that keeps your mind from collapsing. Do you notice how your breathing begins to become calmer and deeper? That's because I am cutting the bonds that held your breath. I didn't create you to be a solitary solver of impossible problems. I created you to be my beloved daughter, the one who rests while the Father works. If you felt this divine embrace, untie a knot in your throat now. Leave your sign of love by liking this conversation, so that other daughters of mine who suffer in silence may also find this rest. And if your soul felt that this is the place where my voice finally found you clearly, I invite you to walk with me on this journey, subscribing so you don't miss any whisper from my heart. Tell me now, from the depths of your intimacy, what burden do you wish to release at my feet at this very moment? Right here in the comments with all your faith. I trust. By typing these words, you are signing a decree of surrender before the throne. But listen carefully. There is still something I am preparing in silence while the world sleeps. There is a seed you planted with tears and thought had died in the dry land of your desert. You cannot imagine what I am making sprout behind what your eyes can see. I know every seed you have ever planted with tears, my daughter. I saw when you gave up the little you had to help someone, even when your own heart was heavy with uncertainty. Know that in the kingdom of the Spirit, nothing done with love is forgotten. If your spirit feels this peace now, and only if your conditions allow, transform this recognition into a seed of love through this channel. Think of my immense affection and the sacrifice of my Son Jesus, and make your offering through the link I left in the description and in the first pinned comment. There your gratitude can be consecrated before me, the Creator of all things. Do not look at the amount, but at the intention. You can contribute whatever amount you wish, only what fits in your heart. I welcome each gesture with tenderness. Remember that the amount is not what counts, but rather the disposition of the soul, for what seems little to men can be a miracle in the life of the one who receives it. For those of you who sow with sincerity, I ask that you do not forget to record your name and the city where you live, along with your gesture of affection. On the first day of next month, I will prepare a very special video here on our channel and page Divine Love, the Voice of God, where each name will be remembered with profound gratitude and enveloped in blessings that will be released through prayer. For it is written in 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 7, each one should give what he has decided in his heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, your Lord, and none of them will fail to bear fruit in the due time of your harvest. I see in the secret of your act of generosity and reward you in the sight of all, honoring your faithfulness. Stay until the end of this message, for I still want to touch your heart with my voice and reveal the treasures I have reserved for those who choose to trust. What are you giving me today in gratitude? Write in the comments the word that defines your gesture, offering of love. Stay with me because what I have to tell you now about the weight of your weariness will change the way you see your battles. I saw the trembling in your hands this morning as you held that cup of coffee, trying to find the strength to face another day that seemed too heavy even before it began. I saw the weariness in your eyes when you looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the strong woman you used to be. The weight on your chest is not just stress, my daughter. It's the accumulation of so many burdens you tried to carry alone, believing that silence was your only armor. In that empty kitchen where the only sound was the refrigerator and the pulsing of your own anxiety, I was there. I felt the chill that ran down your spine when the thought of giving up crossed your mind like an unwanted shadow. You feel like you're walking on quicksand, where each step requires superhuman effort and seems to lead you nowhere. I know what it's like to feel like the sky has turned to bronze, that prayers hit the ceiling and return as empty echoes. But listen to what I have to tell you. Deep in your soul, your weakness does not distance me from you. It is an invitation for my strength to be perfected in every piece of your broken being. For it is written in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." This is not a generic invitation made to a multitude. This is a whisper directed to your ear right now. I don't want you to be strong all the time. I want to be your strength. I saw when you sat on the edge of the bed and covered your face with your hands, feeling like the world was crumbling and that no one noticed your silent cry. At that moment, I was supporting your back, preventing you from falling. The hand that sustains the universe is the same one that now wipes away that tear you're trying to hold back. Stop trying to carry the weight of the world because your shoulders weren't made for that. Let me take control of that situation that keeps you awake at night. Let me take care of those you love and everything that worries you. When you surrender to the Father who provides, the burden becomes light, not because the problems disappear, but because I am carrying the heaviest part for you. If this relief has begun to flood your heart now, share this message with someone you know who is also at their breaking point. Sometimes, my love uses your hands to reach another weary soul, and if you feel you need a new breath to continue, sign up here, so that every day my voice can be your fuel. Tell me something. If you could surrender all that weariness into my hands right now, what would be the first feeling you would want to have in its place? Write in the comments the word that seals this divine exchange, my rest. But don't go yet. I have prepared something special so that this breath is not just a fleeting moment, but a constant companion in your most difficult nights. There is a path of intimacy that I want to walk with you step by step. And what I will show you next is the gift I have saved for the days when silence seems too heavy. I see how your spirit yearns for a direction that doesn't change with the wind, and for a comfort that doesn't fade when the lights in the room go out. I know that on many early mornings, the weight of the silence in your kitchen seems to scream questions you don't know how to answer, and the weariness in your eyes reflects a soul that has cared for everyone, but feels forgotten in a corner of the world. But I haven't forgotten you. If your heart feels it's time for us to take bigger steps towards a deeper intimacy, I have prepared a gift for you, a journey I wrote with all my zeal to be your daily sustenance. The digital book called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was made to be your constant companion, the remedy for days of affliction, and the whisper of peace you so desperately seek upon waking. Access to this precious time between us is available to you at the link in this video's description and in the pinned comment. Listen carefully to what your Father tells you. If today is not possible for you, do not allow condemnation to touch your mind. Remain here with me, for my love will continue to sustain you through this word and my faithful presence, and so that your soul may rest and you may have no worries about how we will meet. Soon after you register, full access and all instructions will arrive directly in the email you registered, with a very simple step-by-step guide to begin reading and listening to what I have for your heart. For it is written, "The Lord's mercies are the reason we are not consumed, for his mercies never end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." Lamentations chapter 3, verses 22 and 23. I want each morning to be a real new beginning for you, where the fear of tomorrow is replaced by the certainty that I am in control. Take a deep breath now and feel the weight lifting from your shoulders. You don't need to carry the world, beloved daughter. You only need to walk with me. Stay here, because I still want to reveal to you how your absolute trust opens the floodgates of provision that the world says is impossible. What do you most desire to give to me in this moment of stillness? Write in the comments as a seal of delivery. Your presence is enough. Look out the window now, my daughter. Do you see those birds that land on your wall, or that cross the sky without the slightest sign of haste? They have no barns, no bank accounts, and they don't spend the night awake reviewing expense spreadsheets or checking their cell phone balance with their hearts in their hands. Yet none of them fall to the ground without me knowing, and none of them wake up without the food that my own hands prepared in the secret of nature. Why then does your heart beat so erratically within your chest? I saw when you opened the refrigerator this morning and sighed, feeling that cold feeling in your stomach that wasn't from hunger but from fear. I saw you clutching tightly at the fabric of your oldest wool sweater, seeking a warmth and comfort that the outside world seems to deny you every day. You feel small, almost invisible, amidst mountains of bills, the needs of your home, and the responsibilities that seem to crush your shoulders. But in my eyes, you are the most precious treasure in all of creation. If I decorate the wildflowers with such perfection, which today shine with magnificent colors and tomorrow wither in the sun, how much more will I do for you, who have my own breath of life coursing through your veins. The provision you so desperately seek, the one that brings peace and not just material sustenance, is not born from your despair or your sleepless nights, but from the profound rest of your soul in my arms. Absolute trust is the sacred ground where the miracle germinates even before you see the sprout. Remember what I wrote for this exact moment in your life, in Matthew chapter 6, verse 26. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? You are worth the blood of my Son. You are worth every beat of my fatherly heart. Stop looking at the scarcity on your table and start looking at the infinite abundance of my throne. What you call nothing or emptiness, I call raw material for my next sign in your life. I know the silence of that afternoon when you felt totally invisible to the world, but know that at that exact second, I was orchestrating the movement of people you don't even know to open paths that are closed to you today. Your faith is the only currency that has value in my kingdom. When you surrender your worries to me and say, with a choked but determined voice, Father, I trust, you release the armies of heaven to fight the battles you cannot win. Don't be deceived by the noise of lack. My silence is often the sound of my most intense work in your favor. If this certainty has brought warmth to your heart now, share this hope with someone who today can only see the desert. And if you want my voice to continue being the daily nourishment of your soul, subscribe here because our journey is only beginning to reveal what is still invisible. Tell me honestly, in which area of your life do you most need to feel my provision today? Write in the comments the word of your victory. God will provide. But listen carefully. Have you ever stopped to think about those prayers you made without saying a single word? About those altars you erected in the middle of your living room, while tears were the only sound that filled the house? There is a sacred record of each one of them in my heart, and what I'm about to tell you about what I saw in your secret place will change everything you think about your waiting and about God's timing. There was a night, not long ago, when the clock showed a little after 2 in the morning, and the silence of your room was so dense that you could hear your own heart beating fast against your ribs. Everyone in the house was asleep. The sound of your children's or your partner's quiet breathing seemed to come from a distant world, a world where peace was possible, while you sat there on the cold floor, your back against the sofa, feeling like your life was a jigsaw puzzle with missing pieces. At that moment, without needing candles, rituals, or pretty words, you erected an altar in the middle of that room. It wasn't an altar of stones, but an altar of surrender made of muffled sobs and a question you didn't dare say aloud. How long, Lord? I was there. I wasn't just watching from afar, from the throne of glory. I was sitting beside you, feeling the same coldness of the floor and the weight of your despair. I saw you rest your forehead on your knees and your tears soaked the fabric of your pants, creating dark stains that would soon dry, but which to me shined like diamonds of intercession. You thought you were talking to yourself. You thought the ceiling of that room was the limit of your voice. But each of your groans, each thought of "I can't take it anymore," rose like a precious perfume that stopped everything here in heaven. Because the contrite and humbled heart, my daughter, is the place where I choose to dwell most intensely. For it is written in the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 6, "But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father, who is unseen. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you." That morning you closed the door of your soul to the world and let me in. And what I saw there was a courage you yourself don't know. You think you are weak because you cry, but I see the strength of one who, even without strength, still seeks me as the only way out. While you saw only the darkness of the room and the fear of tomorrow, I was already sending orders concerning your cause. The answer you asked for at that makeshift altar is not only coming, it has already been signed in the court of heaven. But I haven't shown you everything yet. There is something I am preparing in silence while you try to understand my ways. Sometimes, the silence that follows prayer is not an absence of response. It is the time I take to prepare the ground where your miracle will flourish. You cannot imagine the hands I am touching right now while you listen to me, so that that difficult situation takes a turn that your logic could never predict. If you remembered that moment now, and felt a shiver of confirmation run through your body, leave a like as a sign that you recognized me in that silence. If your soul feels that this channel is the place where my voice has found you in the middle of the desert, subscribe so that our conversation is never interrupted by the distractions of the world. Before we continue, tell me one thing with all the sincerity of your soul. What is the pain you most wanted to hide from everyone, but decided to tell me that night? Write in the comments the word that seals that encounter, my altar. Stay with me, because now I want to show you exactly where your human effort ends and where my miracle begins to take shape before your eyes. You've been running so much, haven't you? Your feet are tired, and the dust of the road seems to have accumulated not only on your shoes, but in the cracks of your soul. I saw when you sat in that kitchen chair with your head in your hands, feeling the weight of 1,000 decisions that still need to be made. Human endeavor has a limit, my daughter, and you have reached the very edge of it. You have tried to mend what is broken with your own tools, to mend the tears of life with threads that snap at the first sign of tension. I saw the glint of exhaustion in your eyes and the bitter taste of frustration in your mouth when you realized that, no matter how hard you tried, the door remained closed. There is a silent beauty in the moment when your hands finally open and let go of the weight you can no longer bear. It is in that instant when your I can't echoes through the empty hallway of your house that my I can begins to resonate with authority. You have struggled as if you were alone on a vast battlefield, but I am here, waiting for you to step back so that I can take the front line. Where your strength ends, my glory begins. Where your breath ends, my breath of life begins, making the impossible take shape. For it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 46, verse 10, "Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations, I will be exalted in the earth." Being still is not giving up. It is recognizing who governs the wind and the sea. Remember that afternoon when you tried to solve that problem on the phone, your voice trembling, feeling like no one was listening. At that moment, your human effort came to an end. And it was precisely there that I began to touch the heart of that person you can't even imagine, preparing the way for the miracle to come. Do not fear the emptiness you feel now. This space without answers is where I am designing something new. When you stop trying to control every detail, you give me the freedom to act beyond what your logic allows. I don't need your weariness. I need your trust. I saw when you looked at your empty hands and felt ashamed, but for me, empty hands are the perfect invitation for me to fill them with my provision. The miracle is not the fruit of your agitation, but of your surrender. If this piece of knowing that I have taken control has touched your heart now, share this message with someone you know who is trying to carry the world on their shoulders. Let my love reach more hearts through your gesture, and if you wish me to continue guiding your steps every day, subscribe here, for I still have much to whisper to your spirit. Before we continue, answer me in the silence of your heart. What would happen if you stopped fighting today and simply rested in my arms? Write in the comments the word that defines your surrender now. I surrender. But listen. Your story didn't begin today. There are memories that time and pain have tried to erase. Victories you've already forgotten that I won for you. And what I'm going to show you now about your past will give you the strength you need to face any giant in your future. Close your eyes for a brief moment and let me guide your mind down a path. That time with its dust of worries has tried to hide from you. I want to take you back to that grey autumn afternoon, more than 10 or 15 years ago, when you sat on the back doorstep, smelling the approaching rain and feeling the weight of news that seemed to have stolen all your ground. Do you remember how your heart beat irregularly, like a wounded bird, and how you looked at your hands, feeling them empty and useless in the face of the magnitude of the problem that presented itself? On that day, you swore there would be no tomorrow. You firmly believed that this was the end of your story. But look at yourself now, you survived. And it wasn't by luck, nor by a coincidence of fate, and much less by a strength that sprang only from within you. It was me. It was me who breathed life into your hopes when they were already just ashes. It was I who touched the heart of that stranger, who extended a hand to you without asking for anything in return. Time has this cruel habit of erasing the marks of my miracles, making you believe that past victories were merely the fruits of your effort or chance. But I keep each of those moments in a sacred reliquary in heaven. I remember when you didn't have the full amount to pay the rent, and, at the last minute of the last day, provision arrived from where you least expected it. I remember when illness haunted your home and fear made you lose your appetite. But I sent my balm and restored the health of the one you love so much. You forgot, but I didn't. Every deliverance I gave you, every door I opened in the middle of a concrete wall, was a rehearsal for what I am about to do in your life today. For it is written in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 2. Remember all the way which the Lord your God led you these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble you, to test you, to know what was in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or not. This desert you are crossing today is no greater than those you have already left behind. Why do you allow the fear of the present to erase the memory of what I have already done for you? If I sustained you in 1997, if I protected you in 2012, why would I leave you now in 2026? My victories in your life have no expiration date. They are living proof that my love for you is constant, yesterday, today, and forever. Take a deep breath and feel this warmth that is now beginning to rise in your chest. It is the memory of my faithfulness warming your soul. If this retrieval of memories brought a tear of gratitude to your eyes, cherish this conversation as an act of recognition before the throne. And if you want to continue being reminded every day that you are never alone, sign up here so that my voice may be your constant reminder. Tell me now. If you could look at that desperate version of yourself from the past, what would you say to her today, knowing that I took care of everything? Tell me in the comments. In one word that seals your gratitude, I remember. But I haven't finished showing you the extent of my power. For to those who remember past victories, I bestow a new authority. There is a secret about the strength of those who surrender first to the Father that many have not yet discovered. And it is about this authority that I want to whisper to your heart now. Many times, my daughter, you believed that authority was measured by the volume of your shout or by the speed with which you could solve the problems that knocked on your door. You thought being strong meant keeping your eyes open and your mind alert 24 hours a day, watching every crack in your house so that fear wouldn't enter. I saw when you felt exhausted from trying so hard to impose your will on circumstances, trying to convince life to follow the rhythm you planned. At that moment, the weight of the silence in your kitchen, while you waited for the coffee to brew, felt like defeat. But I am here to teach you that in my kingdom, true authority is not born from the strength of your arm, but from the depth of your surrender. There is a secret the world will never understand. The woman who kneels before the Father is the same one who rises with authority over any giant. When you choose to surrender to me first, you are not losing control. You are handing the reins to the one who governs the sun, the moon, and the breath that comes from your lungs. I saw when you bowed your head today and let out a heavy sigh, a silent sign that you could no longer carry everything alone. At that very second, the authority of heaven was released over your situation, because where your arrogant effort ends, my sovereign rule begins. For it is written in the first letter of Peter, chapter 5, verses 6 and 7, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time, casting all your anxiety on him because he cares for you." To humble oneself is not to diminish oneself, but to position oneself under the protection of my hand. When you cast your anxiety upon me, you assume the position of a beloved daughter, and no weapon forged against a daughter who trusts in her father can prosper. I know the trembling in your hands when you look to the future, but know that the authority I give you today is not so that you know all the answers, but so that you have peace amidst the questions. By surrendering, you silence the noise of the world and begin to hear my guidance. It is in the silence of your surrender that I give you the strategies to win the battles you didn't even know were being fought against your family. Your strength is not in how much you can endure, but in how much you can surrender to me. If you feel this new authority beginning to clothe your spirit now, share this video as an act of faith, sending it to someone who needs to know they no longer have to fight alone. And if you want me to continue being your compass each new morning, subscribe here so that our connection may be strengthened with each message that heaven releases. Tell me now, from the depths of your soul, What changes within you when you realize you no longer need to carry the weight of governing your life? Write in the comments the word that seals this new position of yours. I am yours. But pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. Because after the authority of surrender, I want to show you something that is still hidden beneath the mists of time. There is a design that my hands have made for your tomorrow, a path of hope that you haven't yet been able to see. And what I'm about to reveal to you about the future I've prepared will lift all the weight that still remains in your heart. You look at the horizon of your life, and often all you can see is a thick fog that seems to hide the paths you should be taking. I saw it when you approached the window today, your gaze lost in the clouds, trying to guess what the coming months hold for your home, your health, and those you love so much. There is a silent fear that nibbles at your heel, a whisper from the world saying that tomorrow is dangerous and uncertain. But I call you now to look through my eyes. Before the first atom of the universe was formed, I had already drawn every curve of your journey. The tomorrow that frightens you is not a mystery to me. It is a territory where I have already walked, where I have already prepared sustenance, and where I have already planted the flowers that you will harvest in the next season. Do you know that feeling of butterflies in your stomach when you think about the decisions that need to be made by the end of this year? I know the feeling of helplessness that tries to convince you that you are walking blindly. But my hand, which holds the galaxies in their precise places, is the same hand that holds the pencil that writes your story. You have tried to guess the future, but I invite you to simply trust the writer. What today seems like a tangled mess of meaningless threads seen from above on my loom of love is a perfect tapestry that will reveal my glory in your life. For it is written in the book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. These thoughts of peace are the foundations upon which your future is being built. It is not a future based on luck or the efforts of others to harm you. It is a future founded on my faithfulness, which does not fail and does not turn back. I saw when you put away that paper with notes of dreams that seemed to have died, feeling a pang of sadness because you thought time had passed and nothing had happened. But in my eternal clock, nothing is late. The fog that surrounds you today is not meant to lose you, but to force you to hold my hand more tightly. When the sun of my righteousness dissipates this fog, you will see that each obstacle was, in fact, a step I used to raise you to a new level of maturity and provision. Your tomorrow is not a threat, it's a promise that I will continue to be the same God who brought you here. If you feel that hope has returned to warm your heart, and clarity has begun to illuminate your thoughts now, like this video, so that this light reaches other lives that are lost in the darkness of fear. And if you wish to walk every day under my safe guidance, subscribe here, so that my voice may be a lamp to your feet and a light to your path, before we reach the end of our journey today. Let me ask you, what is the greatest worry you wish to erase from your tomorrow right now? Write in the comments the word that seals your confidence in the future I have designed, my tomorrow. But don't turn away yet, because now, after all we've been through, I want to give you the final key. Remember that phrase I promised you at the beginning. The answer you sought in so many silent prayers is about to be whispered to your heart. There is a seal of peace that I want to place upon your soul before you go about your day. And what I am about to tell you will ensure that you never again feel helpless before the Father who provides all things. My daughter, now that the silence of your soul has become the dwelling place of my peace and your breath has finally found the rhythm of my peace, I want you to look at your hands one last time on this journey. They may still be empty of material things, but they are full of my presence. You came here seeking an answer about sustenance, about tomorrow, and about how to survive the weight of your responsibilities. And I have shown you that provision is not something I give you. It is someone who walks with you. I am your provision. I am the Father who stops the movement of the galaxies just to hear the whisper of your good morning before the world demands strength from you. Remember that I promised you, right at the beginning of our meeting, that I would give you a spiritual key capable of sustaining your heart on days when the sky seems made of bronze. That time has come. This truth is not an amulet, but a decree from one who knows that his sustenance comes from above and not from the ground. For it is written in the book of Philippians chapter 4 verse 13, the phrase that I now engrave with fire on your spirit. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. This is your answer. It's not about your ability to achieve, but about my ability to sustain you while you achieve. When weariness knocks on your door tomorrow, when the bills seem bigger than your faith, or when the silence of the house tries to tell you that you are alone, shout within yourself, I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Write this phrase here in the comments right now as an act of surrender, of possession, and of response to what heaven has released upon your life today. Writing these words seals the commitment that from now on you will speak with the Father before anyone else. Do not leave my presence now that your heart is warmed. I have prepared a path, a sequence of messages that I have kept for you in our list of prayers and meetings here on the channel. Continue listening to me, for there are secrets about your descendants and about the restoration of your soul that I still wish to tell you. I am with you every step of the way. My hand will never let go of yours, not even in the dark. Rest, for tomorrow is already mine.